the way the Russian airstrikes in Syria are being reported in the news. Syria conflict, Russia strikes, will fuel extremism. Members of the US-led coalition against Islamic State have called on Russia to cease airstrikes they say are hitting the Syrian opposition and civilians. In a statement, the US, UK, Turkey and other coalition members said they would only fuel more extremism. Only fuel more extremism, like what's been happening from the West's actions for years in the Middle East. Is that right? Remember this? When 6,000 people flocked to ISIS when America first started bombing in Syria? Conveniently, the whole of the Western media seems to have forgotten that little fact, and that as soon as America started bombing, the recruitment drive for ISIS went through the roof. US allies demand Russia halt Syria strikes outside IS areas. Russia bombed Syria for a third day on Friday, mainly hitting areas held by rival insurgent groups rather than the Islamic State fighters it is said it was targeting, and drawing an increasingly angry response from the West. It's drawing an angry response from the West because Russia are bombing the West's proxy army. The West arm, fund and train these jihadis to take out Assad, and the last thing Obama, the Saudis and Cameron want is for the Russians to bomb their Western-backed terrorists. If only there'd been this much oversight when we bombed Iraq. If only there'd been this much oversight when we bombed Afghanistan. If only there'd been this much oversight when we bombed Libya. If only there'd been this much oversight when Saudi Arabia recently bombed Yemen. If only the media held our governments in the West to account as much as they're trying to hold the Russian government to account, then maybe we would have killed a lot less than the 1 million+ people in Iraq alone, let alone the other places. So while Saudi Arabia and the West kill whoever they like with no oversight whatsoever, Russia kills some Western-backed jihadis, and this could lead us to a conflict with Russia to save some head-chopping jihadis who want to oust Assad and that are backed by the West. Things have got so insane that Saudi Arabia have now had the audacity to voice objections about the UN investigation into Saudi Arabia's atrocities in Yemen, where they killed hundreds and hundreds of children, let alone women and men. This further shows that the UN is just not fit for purpose and quite literally is a tool for the West and run by America. I bet the UN will come out soon and call on Russia to stop bombing ISIS to save ISIS. Just wait and see. Where are Sky News and the BBC when the Saudis were bombing and murdering children, eh? The propaganda machine is so desperate to demonise the Russian airstrikes in Syria that some reports say that the first reports of casualties were even made to the media before Russian planes had even taken to the skies over Syria. How is that possible? Putin even said this himself. Other reports are suggesting they're using fake casualties for propaganda purposes. The globalists are desperate for a new major war, and the way the moralistic West have condemned the Russian airstrikes because they're bombing the West's proxy army in Syria, I think they might get their war, because people are stupid and they cannot see what's blatantly right in front of their eyes. Do we really want to go to war with Russia to save jihadis? Jihadis that want to kill us? America, the UK, France, the West in general are in no position whatsoever to sit above moralistically judging people saying who should and shouldn't be killed. The West are the biggest terrorists on the planet. And now, because they're being shown up by Russia, and the Russians are highlighting the fact that the West have been meddling in Syria by supporting terrorists, arming, funding and training, supporting terrorists. The West cannot stand it and they want revenge for Russia killing basically their troops. You see, the West want to keep their terrorists running around fighting Assad and doing the bidding of the West for them. But Russia are bombing any forces that are fighting Assad. The West want Assad out the way, removed, gone, dead. And the West needs the head-chopping jihadis that Saudi Arabia and America are paying their wages, literally paying the wages of these ISIS fighters. They want them to do their bidding for them. Things are going to come to a head. This is insanity.